Hello everyone, welcome back to Explore Electronics. In this video, let us see the solution for model question paper 1, that is of basic electrical engineering subject. So here is the question paper. Solve the each and every questions from this question paper in detail. The first question in that A, illustrate with examples Kirchhoff's laws as applied to an electrical circuit or electric circuit. Here in the question, you need to carefully observe in these questions, they have asked to illustrate with examples. Wherever they ask to illustrate, you are supposed to give an example. Here you can see they have asked Kirchhoff laws. So to explain these Kirchhoff laws, I am writing the statement and I am briefly explaining about that and then writing the circuit and analyzing that. So this is a kind of example we can give for KCL. Similarly, for KVL, there are statement you can write. There are two statements here. You can write any of those and explain how actually Kirchhoff law is going to be applied to a circuit with an example like this and an expression. This gives you complete marks. This question is asked for 8 marks. Usually KCL carries 4 marks and KVL carries 4 marks. You need to write this much. Then the second question, prove that the circuit efficiency during maximum power transfer from source to load is 50%. So here we need to derive the expression. So here I have derived completely for this maximum power transfer from source to load is only 50%. You can see here. This is a complete derivation. You can refer this for the steps what I have followed. And in between the derivations, you need to write the explanations. You can observe here, let PS is the amount of power generated. So you need to write what is the keyword you are using for that, like that. Somewhere in between, wherever necessary, you can include these lines. Then the next question is the equation for AC voltage is given. V is equal to 0.04 sine 2000 t plus 60 degree volts. Determine the frequency, angular frequency and instantaneous voltage when t is equal to 160 microsecond. See, in this question they have given the expression. First we need to compare that with the standard expression for the AC signal what we have. So we know that this expression Vt is equal to Vm sin omega t plus phi. That is what the general expression we know for AC voltage. You can compare that and then you can find out Vm directly, then find out the angular frequency, and then they have given t is equal to 160 microsecond. By using this, we need to find out the instantaneous voltage. Just we need to apply what is t here they have given. So we will be getting the voltage, instantaneous voltage. So instantaneous voltage in the sense this is the instantaneous voltage. So this is the maximum voltage. So you need to carefully write what is the expected answer for this question. So the complete problem carries 6 marks. If you solve only one, they may give 1 or 2 marks, like that. Then define RMS value of an alternating current. Show that its value is proportional to the maximum value. So here it is a derivation for VRMS actually, but they are asking that show that VRMS is dependent on V maximum. So once we derive this completely, you can see VRMS is equal to Vm divided by root 2 or V max by root 2. Here then after we can write it as VRMS. Here it is directly proportional to the maximum voltage. Before that you can explain what is an RMS value of an alternating current. So we need to explain about the RMS value, what actually it is. Then one more problem, a circuit consisting of 12 ohm, 18 ohm and 36 ohm respectively. Those are the resistances joined in parallel, and there is one more resistance in series, that is the fourth resistance, and whole is supplied at 60 volt. That is what the total voltage they have given, and also they have given power dissipated is 12 ohm resistance. 12 ohm resistance is 36 watts. Then determine the value of fourth resistance and total power dissipated. So here you need to write the circuit. In these questions, this circuit carries minimum 2 marks. 2 marks will be allocated for this circuit. Then you can just write which are all the data they have given. You can write it as given these datas and start solving the problem. First find out the current, then voltage, then resistance across that, then you can go on solving the problem. So here they have asked two things. One is the fourth resistance, that is R4, and then they have asked to calculate the total power dissipation, that is P. So these two carries 4 marks, this carries 2 marks, again this carries 2 marks, and remaining things what you are going to calculate carries 2 marks, and circuit maybe carry 1 mark, like that. So this is how the marks distribution for the problems will be. Just even if you write this circuit and writing some expressions for voltage, power, and whatever the things you know, you may get 1 or 2 marks. Justify why pure inductor does not consume any power when connected across a single phase AC supply. This question can be asked like this in an indirect way. Otherwise, directly they may ask to explain the pure inductor, how it will behave when an AC supply is given. Already the video is made on that. You can watch this and get to know how actually the average power is 0. And then demonstrate that 2 wattmeters are sufficient to measure the power in 3-phase star connected circuit. With the help of circuit diagram and phasor diagram, you need to explain. So you need to write the circuit for that. Here also this question carries 8 marks. So this circuit of 2 wattmeters carries 2 marks, and in the question itself they have mentioned it is a star connected one. So okay, and then with a need diagram and phasor diagram they said. So phasor diagram carries 2 marks minimum. So this things what you are going to derive will be carrying another 4 marks. So you need to write the clear circuit and mention where actually the voltages are, the terminal voltage, phase voltage and all clearly, so that you will be getting the maximum marks. A circuit consists of a resistance of 20 ohm. Again it is a problem, 20 ohm, and an inductance of this is 0.05 actually, okay, 0.05 Henry connected in series, and a supply of 230 volts 50 hertz. Likewise, as you read the question, you can write the circuit like this. So here also circuit carries one mark, 1 or 2 marks, and you need to find out what they have asked. Determine the current. We need to determine the current, and then power factor we have determined, and power consumed by the circuit, total power. So here the marks distribution will be 2 marks for this, 2 marks for this, and 2 marks for this. Since power factor is a direct expression, we can take this as 1 mark, and another 1 mark will be splitted to the circuit. Deduce the relationship between phase and line voltages of 3-phase star connected system. So one question will be there for sure in out of star connected system or delta connected system. Here we need to deduce the relationship between the phase and line voltage. In the delta connected system, we need to derive a relationship between phase and line currents. So this kind of question will be there. You can see this video for better understanding. Then the next question, develop an equation for the power consumed by an RL series circuit. See, in the previous question they have asked pure inductor. Here they are asking RL series circuit. Draw the waveform of voltage, current and power. This kind of question on RL circuit, RC circuit and RLC circuit. Out of these three, one question will be there for sure. This is an important question. So video is made on that. You can go through that, and here you can see clearly the circuit and how actually the voltage triangle and impedance triangle can be written. And you can see here it is asked for 8 marks. 2 marks will be for the circuit, and other 3 marks will be for the vector diagram and impedance triangles what you are going to write, and remaining 4 or 3 marks for the expressions what you are going to write and the explanation. So they are asked to write the waveform also. Carefully observe here, they are asked to write the waveform of voltage, current and power. So with this explanation and the expressions, you need to write this waveform also. Obviously this carries 2 marks. You need to clearly mention here, this is power wave, this is voltage wave, this is current wave, lagging, leading, everything. So if you write this clear cut waveform, then you will be getting the maximum marks. Otherwise you are going to lose this marks because of the inappropriate waveform. Okay. Then there is a problem on three phase when a three phase balanced impedances are connected in star fashion across a three phase 415 volt 50 hertz supply, and a line current is drawn is 20 ampere. Lagging power factor of zero point 0.4 determine the parameters of the impedance in each phase. It is again asked for 6 marks. Write the diagram for 1 mark and find out what they have asked. Impedance in each phase they have asked. So first we know that VL is equal to root 3 VPH, since they have given the line voltage. Here it is 415. Okay, this is the line voltage VL root 3 VPH. So then we can find out VPH, then cos phi ZPH you can easily find out. Finally the impedance. Then a balanced three phase star connected system draws power from 440 volts supply. The 2 watt meters connected. Here the problem on 2 watt meters which are connected to indicate 5 kilowatt and 1.2 kilowatt. So determine the power factor and current. This is a direct question. You can go with 2 watt meter. So P is equal to W1 plus W2, that is 6.2 kilowatt. Then find out the power factor using this formula, and finally the total power consumed by the circuit and also the current in the circuit, that is IL. You can easily solve these kind of problems. This is for 6 marks, so that they have asked to find out the three parameters: power factor and current. So each carries 2 marks. So 2 marks into 3 parameters, so that is 6 marks you are going to get. Then explain the principle of operation and construction of DC generator. Here it is a theory question. It is asked for 8 marks. So obviously principle of operation and construction is there. So it obviously carries 2 marks. If you explain how the construction is, what are all the parts, and this construction carries half of the marks, that is 3 marks. And how it is going to operate, you need to explain how the operation will be for another 3 marks. You can write these yoke, armature, brushes, everything, and little bit of explanation on these and the operation. Then how back EMF regulates the armature current in DC motor, explain with relevant equations. So here how back EMF regulates the armature. So first you need to explain that what is back EMF, first you need to write, and then you need to write the relevant expressions for that. And since it carries 6 marks, your theory answer fetches you 2 to 3 marks, and then your expression and the remaining explanation carries 3 marks. And then a problem, you can observe here each and every question out of A, B, C, one question will be a problem, and out of other two questions, one will be from theory, another one will be might be from problem. So obviously some 10 problems they will be given. So at least but even if you go with the choice, you need to at least write 5 to 6, you need to answer 5 to 6 problems. So concentrate on problems more. Problems will be there for sure in each and every unit. A 4-pole 1500 rpm DC generator has a lap wound armature. This is on DC generator. They have given 8 conductors per slot, 32 slots. Then discuss various types of losses in transformer. So there are mainly two types of losses in transformer. Since it is a 8 marks question, you need to explain much more about the iron loss and the copper loss. The first one is iron loss, where hysteresis loss and eddy current loss are come under this, and you need to explain copper loss. So at least to get some 3 to 4 marks for this, 4 marks for this, they will be allocated. And also you need to write the total expression, like iron losses plus copper losses will be considered as the total loss. Here you need to explain at least in half of page for this, and also half of page for this. Any expression related to that you can write, technical values you can write. So to get 8 marks, you need to explain it little bit more, you can say. Then with usual notations, develop the torque equation of DC motor. Here it is a derivation. You need to derive for the torque equation. For this, here I have not completely derived. You need to derive that. So the complete derivation carries 6 marks. A 250 kVA 11,000 per 415 volts, 11,000 per 415 volts single phase transformer has 80 turns. They have given the turns on the secondary. Here we need to calculate the rated primary and secondary currents, number of primary turns and maximum value of the flux in the core and voltage induced or turn on secondary. So this carries 6 marks. Here they have given what is V1, V2 or E1, E2, whatever you take. And then you need to find out the currents, primary and secondary currents, and then you can easily find out the number of turns, number of primary turns, that is N1, using this simple formula. Then find out the flux, maximum flux in the core, and then the voltage induced. Okay, so this is a very simple direct problem. You may easily get 6 marks if you know the simple expressions. How rotating magnetic field is set up in case of three-phase induction motor, illustrate with neat figures. Here you can go with any of these two. Here I have written 0 degree, 30 degree and 60 degree, and you need to write the phasor diagram for each, and you need to find out what is phi r, phi y, phi b. Okay, and you need to write the phasor diagram here also. You need to write the phasor diagram here also. You need to write the phasor diagram. Okay, so since it is for 8 marks, you need to explain little bit also about the three-phase induction motor and how the rotating magnetic field is going to be set up in each and every stages. What is slip of an induction motor, and derive the expression for frequency of rotor current in terms of supply frequency. Here first thing is to explain what is slip. Slip of an induction motor is the difference between synchronous speed and the actual speed of the rotor. So you need to write about that first, what is slip, and then about the induction motor, and then you need to derive the expression for the frequency of rotor current in terms of supply frequency. Then again here there is a problem. A 12 pole 3 phase alternator is coupled to an engine running at 500 rpm. It supplies an induction motor which has full load speed of 1440 rpm. Determine the percentage slip and number of poles of a motor. Okay, in this problem here they have not given the value of P. Okay, so if they have not given, you need to assume the value, assume any value for P. If the condition is satisfied, here a percentage is should be 1% to 5%. So you need to assume and then calculate. Here you can see for P is equal to 4, it is satisfying. So I am taking the poles of a motor is 4. Then the next question is on construction of two types of synchronous generator with the need sketches. So here the silent pole and non-silent pole synchronous generators are there. You need to write the sketches of these two. Here just I have given the sketches diagram. You need to explain these. You need to explain these to get the complete marks. Here 4 marks will be for one type, another 4 marks will be for other type. So you need to explain how actually the construction is with respect to the winding and the pole and all. Here also you need to explain the things in detail so that you will be getting 4 marks completely. Diagrams you need to write carefully the windings and all, and you need to show the directions. Develop the EMF equation of synchronous generator. This is a derivation. So for the synchronous generator, you need to derive the expression for EMF equation. So here I have completely derived this, and you can easily get 6 marks if you read some derivations. They are very important for exam. These questions may be repeatedly asked in the examinations in previous exams also. Again there is a problem here to calculate the line EMF. So 12 pole 500 rpm star connected alternator, they have given these values, and we need to calculate the line EMF. This is what the problem which I have solved. What is electric power supply system? Draw a single line diagram of typical AC power supply scheme. First you need to explain what is power supply system. In um, power supply generation, transmission, distribution system of electric power is called electrical power supply system. It consists of a generation, transmission and distribution stages. So you need to write the diagram for the single line diagram of typical AC power supply scheme, and you need to explain in brief what are the desirable characteristics of tariff and explain two-part tariff. So here again you need to write the characteristics. Whenever they ask to write the characteristics or properties like that, you need to write these in points like this, other than simply writing in a paragraph. Simplicity, fairness, attractive, proper return, these things you need to write one after the other. Okay, here is the problem. A consumer has maximum demand of 200 kilowatt at 40% load factor. If the tariff is 100 rupees per kilowatt of maximum demand plus 10 paise rise, this is a paise, 10 paise per kilowatt hour, and find the overall cost per kilowatt hour. So here is the detailed calculation of this particular problem. So here unit consumed per year we need to calculate, and then annual charges, and then overall cost per kilowatt hour, so that it will be this much. Then explain the working principle of fuse and MCB. So this question carries 6 marks. You need to write what is fuse and how it will be useful, and working of the fuse they have asked. You need to write the diagram and you need to explain the working, and then MCB also write what is MCB and what it consisting of and how the working of MCB will be. So this carries 6 marks. Then what is earthing? Why earthing is required? With the help of neat sketch explain plate earthing. They ask purposefully the plate earthing. So you need to write what is earthing, the connection of the body of electric equipment to the general mass of earth by a wire of negligible resistance is called earthing. This kind of definition you are supposed to write clearly, and it brings body of equipment to the zero potential during electric shock. These things you can say. And they have asked why earthing is required. In why earthing is required, in the sense that is what the necessity, why it is required for us, the necessity of earthing. So you can write some 5 to 6 points out of these, and then come to the plate earthing. Here there is a diagram. This diagram carries 2 to 3 marks, and you need to explain this. The explanation will be for 2 marks. So totally 5 marks will be there for this plate earthing, and remaining 3 marks, 2 marks for this and 1 marks for this will be allocated out of 8 marks. Then write a short note on precautions against electric shock. So how precautions need to be taken to avoid electric shock. So you can write again points here, or you can write a paragraph since it is asked as a note. Otherwise, if they asked which are all the precautions you can take for electric shock, like that you can write points also. In these cases, maximum points as you are going to get, you are supposed to write, so that you will be getting maximum marks. Suppose if you stop only 3 points like that, you may lose 1 or 2 marks here.